Hey everyone, today we're reacting to YouTube shorts about real estate investing. Let's get into it. Okay, so we have real estate advice for investors.
Today's topic is brick building versus wooden frame for you beginners, right? The brick is a brick. It's always something that no matter what, you will never lose a dime on that. You'll always have a honey call.
Let's stop right there. So his advice for beginners, bricks versus sticks. He just said, if it's a brick house, you'll never lose a dime on it. I think that's a direct quote. That is not advice I would give to beginners. I don't think just because it's a brick house, a brick building, whatever, that it's a great investment and that you'll never lose a dime. I think that's actually pretty terrible advice. You can lose a lot of money that way. Brick is great, but you got to go a little bit deeper on that. Let's see what else he's got to say.
A safe piggy bank with that. You know what I mean? You'll never have a problem with it. Even selling, even remortgaging it and getting a mortgage on it. The banks prefer that versus a wooden frame.
Okay, so some more stuff I disagree with there. I have mortgaged a significant amount of properties, and the amount of times a lender has asked me, is it brick or wooden frame? Or whatever the siding material may be, that's never been a question. I've refinanced several portfolios. There's a lot of information they ask for. What the building is clad in is not a question. Yeah, I don't know what he's talking about. You can have a great investment that's a brick house. You can have a great one that's got vinyl siding. You can also have a terrible investment in a brick building. There's way more factors that need to go into your thought process, especially as a beginner, than what the outside is made out of. Next. All right, this video is titled, I purchased a $480K home for $12.60. All right, let's see how he did that. I'm interested.
Look at this nice house, almost 3,000 square foot, worth $478,000. Let's fact check it on another site. Here we go. Same house. Say $486,000 right here.
It seems that he's doing his own version of pulling comps, and so far his two comps are Redfin's estimate and Zillow's Zestimate. Really don't like that. I try to tell people to steer away from using Redfin's estimate, Zillow's estimate. I mean, Zillow offers lost however many hundreds of billions of dollars by using their own Zestimates for real estate. So there are much better ways to pull comps, comparable sales of properties, than the lazy way to just look at Zestimates. Even if you're trying to value your own private personal home, don't base the value of that home off of the Zestimate that you saw on Zillow. There's better information out there.
See the range from 462 all the way to 510,000. Same house. See the address.
Yeah, I mean right there, the Zestimate range is a $50,000 range. That's a 10% price range that they're giving you. You need to be more accurate. I don't know about you guys. That $50,000 difference makes a huge difference in my investment strategy. So find the better information out there. Don't go off the Zestimate, please, please, please.
You see the address? You see the address?
Yes, we see the address. Please don't ask me again.
9 times out of 10, somebody stay in that house and they paying a mortgage and they ain't gonna make no money off it. Now I'm finna buy it in the metaverse, digital real estate, and make a lot of money in 9 to 12 months off. See the address, street view. As you can see, same house. 12,600 UPS. That's $12.60. About to click buy.
Okay, so we're dealing with buying property in the metaverse apparently, which explains a lot. This title was a little clickbaity. I probably should have known when he said he bought the $480,000 house for $12.60. It also checks out as to why he doesn't seem to know a lot about the physical real estate itself. We're dealing with the monopoly buyer of the metaverse here. So maybe one of you can educate me on this. I'm not really sure what he just bought for $12.80. Maybe I'm just ignorant. Somebody enlighten me. It seems like he said in 9 to 12 months it's going to be worth a lot more money. Maybe so. Somebody teach me, please. Next. All right. So this one's titled My Beginner's Guide to Real Estate Investing.
There's 3 things that you need to know in order to really make money as a real estate investor. The third thing is the most important of the 3. First, you need to know exactly where you're going. So when you start your real estate investing business, know exactly what you want out of the business before you get started.
That's ideal. Sure, that's great. I think on an individual deal basis, you have to run those numbers, make sure that property you're buying makes sense. To know exactly what you want out of your real estate investing business from the beginning, I'll tell you from personal experience, mine's gone in a very different route than I would have guessed it was going to go in the beginning. And it's been more successful than I would have thought it was going to be in the beginning. You know, on one hand, I like that advice, but on the other hand, if you don't know exactly the end goal from your real estate investing journey or your business journey in general, I don't think you let that keep you from starting. I think you go ahead and start if you feel called to move in that direction. Don't let not having it all figured out keep you from starting.
Second, you need to know how to get there. And that's where strategy comes into play. If you need quick cash, you can wholesale real estate. If you want to build passive income on a monthly basis, you need to focus on rental property investing. If you need huge cash and you don't mind putting in a little bit of work, fix and flip is the game plan for you.
That makes a lot of sense. The goal dictates the strategy, right? There's so many ways to do real estate, and all of them have different pros and cons. If you're needing, what he's saying, and I agree with, if you're needing short-term money, there's ways to do real estate that can get you that. If you're more investing for long-term equity capital returns, there are different ways to do that. And it's a spectrum. There's all kinds of stuff in between. So for sure, know what your goals are going in, and that will kind of dictate the strategy.
Be consistent. I can't tell you how many times people fall short because they're not consistent enough in their real estate investing business. If you combine all of these 3 things, there's no way you're going to fail as a real estate investor.
All right, so totally agree with the third point. Consistency is huge. That's just in your life in general. You get out of life what you put into it on a consistent basis. As a real estate investor, if it's not going well, you're probably not looking at enough deals. You're probably not talking to enough lenders, contractors, real estate agents, going to enough meetups. You're probably just not doing enough consistently. That being said, he just said a fairly controversial statement. If you do the 3 things he listed, there's no way you'll fail. That's not true. We've all heard like the road to hell is paved with good intentions. Good things happen to bad people. You can do all of the right things and still fail. It makes me think of, I had a driving instructor once that told me, what does it mean when the traffic light turns green? And I was like, it means you can go. He said, no, it means it's legally your turn to go. It does not mean it's safe to go. There's been a lot of people over the years that have been killed by driving through a green light. You can do all the right things and still fail, but don't let that fear stop you from continuing to put in the work and trying to do the right things. Hopefully that makes sense. Okay, this next video, how to make $1 million in real estate, from Ryan Serhant. Love Ryan Serhant. I think he's amazing. He's an incredible real estate mind. Very different than me. He's more on the brokerage side, but man, would love to be more like him when I grow up. So let's see what he's got to say.
If someone to make $1 million in real estate, what would you recommend for them to do?
Do not immediately go into real estate investing. I think a lot of people think that that's where you make money. That's also where you can lose a significant amount of money. Brokerage is a no-risk investment.
All right, I'll pause him there. Agree with, don't immediately jump into real estate investing. There are so many low-risk educational foundational steps you can go out and do to learn more of what you're doing. I mean, if you can take a job somewhere working for an agent, working for a contractor, working for another real estate investor, working at a title company, all of those things that are real estate adjacent that can get you in the business, maybe even, get you a paycheck while you're learning a lot of those lessons are great things to do. I think he's right there. Then he went on to say that brokerage is a no risk investment. I'm surprised to hear him say that as a very successful real estate broker himself, because it certainly is risky. It's starting a business. You're risking a ton of your time, money, effort, resources just in general. So I don't know. There's a little bit of the video left. Maybe he kind of elaborates on that.
Your time is what you're investing into creating relationships for people that are going to pay you to help them do a real estate transaction that you have nothing to do with. You don't have to buy the glue or the nuts or the bolts. There's no capital investment. And that's what's always set me free, because the risk is your time, but the reward can be endless.
Okay, so he did kind of backpedal. The risk is your time. If you're in a position where that's a great way for you to get into real estate, is to go be an agent, become a broker. It's an incredible way to get into real estate, but I don't like the narrative that it's risk-free, because you are risking a lot of your time and money and resources, all those things I listed before. And it's not nearly as easy as a lot of people think that it is. All right, well, that was something. What did we learn today? Don't buy a property just because it's brick. You can lose money on a brick house, I can tell you that. Don't base all of your financial investment stuff off of Zillow and Zestimates. Just a terrible idea. Zillow shouldn't even base their financial investments off of what Zillow says, as proven by the fact that they had to shut down Zillow offers and lost hundreds of millions of dollars. But yeah, it's good to see some beginners out there doing some investing of their own and doing it successfully. It's also really scary to see some of these people out here giving advice. Even those of you watching this video should strongly consider whether the advice that I give you is good or not, because some of this is good, some of it is absolute garbage, and I hope that nobody listens to what they had to say, because they will get you in a lot of trouble. So anyway, guys, this has been fun. Something a little different. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and go out there and hustle on purpose.